We have Parkersburg South in lane 1, Shipley in lane 2, Skyline in lane 3, Western Albemarle in 4, and Poughkeepsie in lane 5. These crews will all be advancing to the final, but they are currently racing for lane assignments in the final. Race. There's Skyline there. And Skyline just a few strokes away from finishing their heat for the girls' lightweight varsity quad. They will have the preferred lane assignment in the final. And it's Skyline in lane 3. 2 strokes from the line. And our remaining competitors followed next by lane 4, Western Albemarle in the second position. Lane 5, Poughkeepsie. And our final 2 competitors coming into view now is lane 1, Parkersburg South. And our final finisher is Shipley out of lane 2. We'll see those boats again this afternoon in the final. Coming up next will be the boys varsity double semifinal. Semifinal 1 will have Germantown Academy in lane 1, Holy Spirit in lane 2, Saratoga in lane 3, Germantown Friends in lane 4, Wakefield in lane 5, and Roman Catholic in lane 6. Saratoga with a comfortable lead over the rest of the field. The top 3 will move on to the finals this afternoon. We've got Skyline with open water over the rest of the field out of lane 3. Bottom of your screen in purple boats with purple blades is Roman Catholic. Again, top 3 moving on to the finals, so we'll have an exciting finish here to see who can hang on to that 3rd place spot and earn themselves a trip to the finals. Top of your screen in the lead is Saratoga. Black boat is Germantown Friends. The white boat in the middle of your screen is Wakefield, and the purple boat with purple blades is Roman Catholic. At the top of your screen coming into view is Germantown Academy, followed by Holy Spirit. Saratoga with a commanding open water lead over the rest of the field. Wakefield hanging on to that 2nd place finish, but Roman Catholic making a move into this, heading into the final 500 meters of this race. Roman Catholic wanting to make sure that they get a spot in the finals, starting their sprint a little early to secure that final 3rd and final spot. Not to be left behind, Germantown Friends at the top of your screen is starting to answer that sprint with a sprint of their own. And not to be forgotten, Germantown Academy in lane 1 is also making a move. And you're looking at your leader, Saratoga, coming into the final 150 meters of the race. First place will go to Saratoga, and coming back out here, we want to see the exciting 2nd and 3rd place finish. And we've got Wakefield at lane 5 hanging on to their 2nd place with 1 and 4. Germantown Friends. Wakefield in 2nd, Germantown Friends taking that 3rd spot, moving on to the finals. And one more boat on the field here to finish. It's Holy Spirit crossing the line. We'll be heading back up to the top of the course to pick up race number 109. That's boys varsity doubles, semifinal number 2. And here it is underway, boys semifinal number 2. Starting from the top of your screen, moving down, we have Saline in lane 1, Penn Charter in 2, Conestoga in lane 3, Western Albemarle in 4, East Grand Rapids in 5, and Canisius in 6. Field a little tighter together. Looks like Conestoga has a slight lead, with Canisius making a move to stay in the mix. Again, it's the top 3 moving on to the final. And they're into the second 500 meters. Conestoga trying to open their move, but Western Albemarle in lane 4 is hanging right there with them. And Conestoga making a nice move to increase their lead, trying to get a comfortable first position there, but Western Albemarle in lane 4 is not going to let them get too far ahead. The race will be for that 3rd place finish. You've got East Grand Rapids in the yellow boat at the bottom of your screen and Penn Charter at the top of your screen, both fighting for that position. And not to be forgotten is Canisius in the white boat with white blades at the bottom of your screen. And crews are just about to hit the final 500 meters of the race. It appears that Conestoga is holding on to their lead, although Western Albemarle has definitely moved forward, and Canisius in lane 6 is battling it out with East Grand Rapids. Penn Charter at the top of your screen is also in there for that 3rd place finish. And this is the final 500 meters. Okay, final 200 meters here. And we've got Conestoga in the striped unis. Definitely in the lead, who will be looking for that first place finish. But again, top 3 moving on. Western Albemarle in the black boat, holding on to their 2nd place. And it's Conestoga coming to the line, followed closely by Western Albemarle in lane 4. And it looks like lane 5, East Grand Rapids, unofficially will take that 3rd and final spot into the into the finals. And we have a start for the girls freshman 8 semifinal 1. In lane 1 is Morristown, lane 2 Wakefield, lane 3 is New Trier, lane 4 is Woodrow Wilson, lane 5 Ann Arbor Pioneer, and lane 5 is Lower Merion. New Trier in the middle with the white boat and green and blue oar blades seems to have a lead off the start. All boats still staying nice and close together as we finish off the first 500 meters of the race. New Trier through the first 500 meters is holding on to their lead. Black boat just to their left is Woodrow Wilson. Ann Arbor Pioneer is also trying to close the gap in the white boat. And this is the girls freshman 8 semifinal 1. Top 3 moving on to the finals as they're closing into the third 500 meters of the race. New Trier maintaining their lead out of lane 3, followed closely by Ann Arbor Pioneer. Third place will be the tight race between Woodrow Wilson and Wakefield. Lower Merion out of lane 6, making a move to try and stay in the mix. New Trier winning their heat race to advance to this semifinal, having a solid performance here. Ann Arbor Pioneer pressing New Trier. They did finish second in their heat race. And it looks like it's going to be an exciting finish for third place. And the crews are coming into the last 350 meters of this race. Very exciting. New Trier holding on to their lead. Ann Arbor Pioneer really pressing to try and close that gap. And you've got Wakefield pushing Woodrow Wilson. And let's not forget about Lower Merion in lane 6. That's not just outside of our shot. All those crews vying for second and third to make sure they get a chance to move on to the final. New Trier with a comfortable lead as they're coming into the finish. They did manage to pull open water out over the field. And Ann Arbor Pioneer coming in with a strong second finish there. And these are shots from our drone just above the finish line. Those were those crews after they had finished the semifinal one of the girls' freshman 8. We're going to head back up to the start to pick up semifinal number 2. And what you're looking at is race 111, girls freshman semifinal number 2. And what you're seeing here are the crews for the semifinal 2 of the girls freshman 8 backing onto the stake boats. It looks like there's a restart. No information as to why, but they will get underway shortly. And that's the girls freshman 8 semifinal number 2. And you're watching the crews as they are backing back onto the stake boats for a restart in event 111, girls freshman 8 semifinal 2. And we have a start for the girls freshman 8 semifinal 2 with the top 3 moving on to the finals. Lane 1 is Gwinnett Mercy. Lane 2 is Plant. Lane 3 is Marion Mercy. Lane 4, Mount St. Joseph. Lane 5, Upper Arlington. And Lane 6, Saratoga. Some seats back and is holding onto that third place spot. And that is Marion Mercy out in the lead, lane 3, with Plant making a strong push at the nice sprint on the top of your screen. Black Boat, Yellow Blades is Plant. And that's Marion Mercy out in the lead with Plant fighting Mount St. Joseph. And that third place is going to be an exciting finish with Upper Arlington overtaking Saratoga. Excellent finish, stroke for stroke. Marion Mercy and Plant, or Mount St. Joseph. And Mount St. Joseph should have snuck in there. And as you can hear from the horns, that is an entirely tight finish and too close to call. So go to the SRA.net and follow the link for the results page to see who took that third and final spot going into the finals. And in progress, finishing the first 500 meters, we have the boys, freshman 8, semifinal 1. Canisius at the top of your screen, followed by Montclair, St. Joseph Prep, Belen Jesuit, Mainland, and Montgomery Bell at the bottom of your screen in the red boat. Belen Jesuit and St. Joseph Prep having a good start, 500 meters down. Belen Jesuit with the current lead, looking to increase that as they go through the course. Belen Jesuits out of Florida. They came in second in their Florida State qualifier and currently are holding the lead in this semifinal 1 of the boys freshman 8. Montgomery Bell Academy is in the red boat that was at the bottom of your screen. That boys freshman 8 event came in second in their qualifier in the Midwest. And it looks like Plant out of lane 2 had an issue during the course, and they are well out of contention at this point. Top 2 leaders duking out, St. Joseph Prep out of Philadelphia and Belen Jesuit out of Florida. They are going neck and neck. Third place boat will also get to qualify, and that race seems to be right now between Montgomery Bell at the bottom of your screen and Canisius in the black boat at the top of your screen. And we are closing into the finish line, 250 meters to go. Looks like St. Joseph has pulled a slight lead out there over Belen Jesuit. Top 3 moving on to the final. St. Joseph Prep in the white boat, Belen Jesuit in the yellow boat. And at the top of your screen is Canisius. And St. Joe's Prep, followed by Belen Jesuit. And for our third place, oh, and there we go. We've got Montgomery Bell going with Canisius. Unofficially, it looks like Montgomery Bell took it. And we are 500 meters into semifinal number 2 of the boys freshman 8, St. Ignatius, Ohio at the top of your screen, lane 1. Mount St. Joseph Collegiate in lane 2. Gonzaga in lane 3. New Trier in 4. Niskayuna in lane 5. And Chaminade in lane 6. New Trier with a nice lead here in the second 500 meters. Coxon pushing ahead to stay right on the bow ball of the rest of the field. St. Joseph Collegiate, Gonzaga, and Niskayuna all fighting for the second and third place spots to make sure they make it into the final. And New Trier looking to make some open water on the rest of the field. Nice commanding lead in the throughout this second 500 meters of this race. And New Trier is from the Midwest region. Their boys freshman 8 did win the Midwest Scholastic qualifier. Looking like Gonzaga with a lead over St. Joseph Prep and Niskayuna, but Niskayuna with a move to try and close that gap back. Coming into the last final 300 meters. Gonzaga winning the freshman 8 out of Washington Metro region. And on the outside, St. Joseph Collegiate making a strong move. Niskayuna still in it. Our lead boat again is New Trier, with St. Joseph Collegiate at the top of your screen, really pressing them. St. Joseph Collegiate, Gonzaga, and Niskayuna all vying for a spot in that semifinal. New Trier over, followed by Gonzaga with a tight finish. St. Joseph Collegiate and Niskayuna. Too close to call. Have to go to the results to see if Niskayuna or St. Joseph Collegiate took that third place spot to go to the finals. Unofficially, from my eyes, it looks like maybe Niskayuna, but do go to the results for the official ruling. And now we are to the semifinal 1, 500 meters in, girls junior varsity 4, semifinal 1. Top 3 moving on to the final. Red boat at the top of your screen, Gwinnett Mercy, followed by Mount St. Joseph, Owen J. Roberts, Ann Arbor Huron in lane 4, followed by Loyola Academy, and Emma Willard in lane 6 at the bottom of your screen. Owen J. Roberts seems to have an early lead. Loyola Academy making a nice move to take a seat from Ann Arbor Huron, pushing into the second place position, now looking to overtake Owen J. Roberts. And we are in the second 500 meters of this 1,500 meter course. And from our overhead view, that purple boat is Mount St. Joseph. Owen J. Roberts in the white boat. Yellow boat is Ann Arbor Huron, followed by, to the right by Loyola Academy, and Emma Willard at the bottom of your screen that was just going out of view. Our leader still seems to be Owen J. Roberts, with Loyola Academy really pressing. Owen J. Roberts on the left of your screen, white boat, red blades, maintaining their lead. Ann Arbor Huron. Making a press to stay in that second place spot. Coxswains are sitting in the front of their boat. This is a cox boat, so 4 rowers with a coxswain. And we're coming into the final 300 meters of the race. You're looking at your top 3 boats here. Loyola Academy making a nice press on Owen J. Roberts, trying to take the first place position. Final 200 meters, Owen J. Roberts. Nice and comfortable lead there, with Mount St. Joseph making a nice sprint. Loyola Academy looking to take second away from Mount St. Joseph. Coming into the finish, Owen J. Roberts holding on to their lead. Loyola Academy really pushing them. And Ann Arbor Huron taking that 3rd spot to move into the finals. Owen J. Roberts, Loyola Academy, and Ann Arbor Huron will be moving on. Finishing here is Emma Willard, followed by Gwinnett Mercy. Semifinal 1's completed. We will head back to the top of the course to pick up semifinal 2 of the girls' junior 4. Race has been declared official as seen by the white flag by the referee on the course. And we'll be heading back up to the start to pick up the girls' junior varsity 4 semifinal number 2. And as you see here, boats coming down the course. Going from right to left across your screen is City Honors, Marion Mercy, Montclair, Bishop O'Connell, Stonebridge, and Blair. Montclair Bishop O'Connell duking it out for that first place spot, with City Honors in the red boat making a nice move here at the finish. Crews sprinting to the line to secure their position in the finals as well as lane assignments. And it's Montclair, Bishop O'Connell going bow ball to bow ball as they come into the finish. With City Honors and very close, too close to call, City Honors and Stonebridge buying it out for that final spot. Again, we'll have to go to the results to see who officially made it in. And it looks like City Honors may have just edged out Stonebridge for that third and final spot in the finals, but I encourage you to go to the official results page. They will be posted as soon as that gets official. Bishop O'Connell taking first with a preferred lane assignment then in the finals. And we will be heading back up to the course to pick up the boys Junior 4 semifinal 1. Second place, but it'll be a close finish between Bowles in lane 1, Bishop O'Connell, and Episcopal Academy, Pennsylvania. And it's going to be a tight finish for second and third. We have Culver with a commanding lead. They will definitely secure their spot. And as we come across the line, those three boats so close together. And looks like Bishop O'Connell taking the second place spot, too close to call between Bowles and Episcopal Academy, Pennsylvania. And we are up with the semifinal 2, Junior 4, Ann Arbor Huron in lane 1, Orchard Lake St. Mary's in 2. Middle of your screen, Haverford, and in the lead in lane 3, followed by Moorestown in lane 4. The green boat is St. Edwards, and at the bottom of your screen, Sebastian River, lane 6 in the blue boat. With Haverford a commanding lead off of the first 500 meters. Sebastian River in lane 6 making a nice press to try and pull into second place. Contested hotly by Moorestown in the black boat. Haverford holding on to their lead. And Sebastian River making a nice move, trying to press Haverford. These crews are closing into the final 500 meters. Yellow Boat Lane 3, Haverford, our current leader in this event, with 500 meters to go. And we've got the final 300 meters of this race. Haverford maintaining open water lead over the rest of the field. Sebastian River in the blue boat in contention, as well as Moorestown in the black boat. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's in the white boat. Moorestown with a nice sprint here at the end of the race. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Moorestown, Sebastian River all in contention as we close into the finish line. And there's Sebastian River coming in second, followed by Moorestown, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, St. Edwards, and Ann Arbor Huron. White flag is up. Race is official. And in progress, just off the start, we have the Junior Varsity 8 semifinal 1 for the girls. Manhasset on the far right of your screen. St. Ignatius, California in lane 2. Ocean City in lane 3. New Trier in lane 4. Montclair in lane 5. And Radnor in lane 6. You see Ocean City in the red boat with a lead. They are already on the bow ball of the St. Ignatius, California boat. St. Ignatius, California holding on to second. With New Trier coming up on the bottom of your screen. And lane 6 is Radnor trying to stay in the mix. Ocean City in the red boat out in front. The rest of the field left to right is St. Ignatius, California, followed by New Trier in the black boat, Montclair in the white boat with blue oar blades, and at the bottom of your screen is Radnor. Coming to finish this second 500 meters, Ocean City maintaining a comfortable lead of open water over the rest of the field. Currently looking like New Trier may be in second. However, St. Ignatius, California is making a move into the third and final 500 meters of this race. Ocean City increasing their lead with a half a boat length open water over the rest of the field. New Trier coming into second, but on their heels is St. Ignatius, California. Montclair at the bottom of the screen, holding right there with St. Ignatius, California, those two white boats. Only 3 get to move on this afternoon. Certainly Ocean City has secured their spot in the finals. New Trier pulling into second, looking to take a few more seats away. And Ocean City maintaining their lead as they come into the final 200 meters of the race. St. Ignatius, California with a nice move trying to take back some space on New Trier in the black boat. Comfortable finish for Ocean City as they come in clearly dominating this semifinal. Tight finish for second between St. Ignatius, California and New Trier. And it looks like New Trier will take it, followed by St. Ignatius, California. That'll complete your semifinal number 1 for the girls junior varsity 8. And in progress is semifinal number 2. Rockford at the top of your screen in 1, Saratoga lane 2. Woodrow Wilson in 3, Mount St. Joseph in 4, Notre Dame lane 5, and Walter Johnson lane 6. Walter Johnson in the picture there, yellow boat, green unis. And up to our lead boats here. Lane 5, Notre Dame, black boat with the pink unis. Appears to have a nice lead, followed by Mount St. Joseph and W.T. Woodson. And in these junior boats, the rule for the Scholastic Rowing Association Regatta is that it is the junior year or lower in high school in order to be eligible to row in the junior boat. You have to be in your junior year in high school or lower. Notre Dame trying to hold on to their lead with Mount St. Joseph making a push to take a seat back on them. W.T. Woodson still holding on to the 3rd place finish as we come into the final 500 meters. Mount St. Joseph with the lead over Notre Dame. Only by a seat. Notre Dame trying to take that back from them. Closing into the final 300 meters. Mount St. Joseph on your left, Notre Dame on your right. Notre Dame with a seat now, making a strong move into the finish. Going into their sprint, you've got Mount St. Joseph in the lead, followed closely by Notre Dame. top 3 get to move on to the final. Notre Dame staying strong with W.T. Woodson right on their heels. Looks like Mount St. Joseph will be able to maintain their lead all the way in. Mount St. Joseph followed by Notre Dame and W.T. Woodson to take that final spot in this afternoon's junior varsity final. Rockford crossing the line there, followed by Saratoga and Walter Johnson. And that's your first and second plate finisher out of that event. Nice race, good sportsmanship. And in just a moment, we'll be heading back to the top of the course to pick up the boys' Junior 8 semifinal 1. And here they come, boys, Junior Varsity 8 semifinal 1. From right to left across your screen, it's Montclair in lane 1, St. Joseph Prep in 2, Gonzaga in lane 3, Upper Arlington in lane 4, McCallie in lane 5, and Ridgewood in lane 6. Appears that St. Joseph Prep is our leader, followed closely behind by Gonzaga. And these crews are closing into the final. And we're coming into the final. That's St. Joseph Prep out in front, open water over Gonzaga, and Upper Arlington in the black boat holding on to the third place finish. Just about 3 strokes from the line for St. Joseph Prep. Upper Arlington making a nice last-minute move on Gonzaga. They secured their third place finish, and those 3 boats will move on. McCallie crossing the line, followed by Ridgewood and Montclair. Semifinal number 2, boys junior varsity 8, has Manhasset in lane 1, Canisius in lane 2, St. Ignatius, Ohio in 3, Belen Jesuit in lane 4, St. Ignatius, Chicago in lane 5, and Chaminade in lane 6. Leaders there, Belen Jesuit, yellow boat, middle of your screen, in the lead. Belen Jesuit making it into the third place spot. St. Ignatius, Ohio, with a strong finish, winning the semifinal number 2 for the boys junior 8. And that race has been declared official. We'll head back up to the course for the boys' second 8 semifinal. Underway, 250 meters in. Boys' second 8 semifinal 1. Winter Park at the top of your screen in lane 1. Central Catholic Pittsburgh lane 2. Gonzaga lane 3. New Trier lane 4. Absegami lane 5. And Plant in lane 6. Here at the SRAA Regatta, crews are only allowed to enter a semifinal a second 8 boat if they've qualified a varsity 8. So all of these crews out in the field will also have a varsity 8 boat entered, which we'll be seeing coming up shortly. Currently, Gonzaga in the lead, followed by New Trier white boat with the green and blue blades, holding into the second place. .500 meters down. Gonzaga holding on to the lead with New Trier pressing them, taking a seat back, trying to pull even. Moving through the second 500 meters, the top of your screen, Central Catholic Pittsburgh not wanting to get left behind, closing in on New Trier and Gonzaga. Gonzaga still 3 seats up over New Trier. Bottom of your screen there is Plant in lane 6. They're trying to make a move on Central Catholic Pittsburgh to claim the 3rd place spot in order to move on to the finals. And those are your top 4 boats right there. Gonzaga is still maintaining the lead, followed by New Trier. Plant and Central Catholic Pittsburgh are going to fight it out for 3rd. And Gonzaga increasing their lead just out of your shot. They are now a full few seats of open water over the rest of the field. New Trier holding on to their 2nd place, closing into the final 250 meters of the race. Gonzaga increasing their lead as they sprint to the finish. Central Catholic Pittsburgh trying to take some space back on New Trier, and just out of your shot, we also have Absagami trying to make a move. And Gonzaga with half a boat length open water as they come into the finish. New Trier staying strong. And it looks like Central Catholic Pittsburgh will take that 3rd and final spot into the finals. And in a moment, we'll pick up the race in progress of boys varsity second 8, semifinal number 2. They're off. Semifinal number 2. Going from right to left across your screen, we have St. Ignatius, California in lane 1, Montclair in lane 2, Bethesda Chevy Chase in 3, Walt Whitman in 4, McLean in 5, and St. Joseph Collegiate in lane 6. Montclair with a good start. Montclair with an early lead, followed behind by Bethesda Chevy Chase in lane 3. St. Ignatius, California in lane 1, fighting it out with Walt Whitman for 3. And there at the bottom of your screen in lane 5 is McLean, making a nice move to stay with those 3 leaders. Montclair is maintaining their lead out of lane 2, followed by Bethesda Chevy Chase. Whitman with the black and white checker blades, holding on to the 3rd place position. Walt Whitman taking a move to pull even with Bethesda Chevy Chase. Excellent move in that second 500 meters of the race, holding on there, trying to pull even with Bethesda Chevy Chase. Montclair holding their 3-seat lead over the Bethesda Chevy Chase and Walt Whitman. McLean at the bottom of your screen with red oars trying to close the gap and catch the leaders. Montclair holding on to just a 2-seat advantage over the other two crews. With 500 meters to go, those 3 leaders are still nice and tight, with Walt Whitman making another move to try and catch Montclair. Montclair continuing to hold on their lead as they come into the final 350 meters of this race. Bethesda Chevy Chase making a move right here, looking to pull ahead, trying to catch Montclair, closing the gap, taking a seat back, pulling even. And as we're coming into the finish, you've got your top 3 boats right there. Montclair holding a slight lead as they're sprinting to the end. Top 3 boats moving on to the final. Montclair holding a slight advantage, being pushed strong by Bethesda Chevy Chase and Walt Whitman. And it'll be too close to call between Bethesda Chevy Chase and Montclair. Walt Whitman definitely making it in there in that 3rd place position to go on to the finals this afternoon. Official results can be found on the SRAA app or via link through the SRAA.net website. And underway, we've got the girls varsity 4 semifinal number 1. Baldwinsville in lane 1, Marion Mercy in 2, Montclair in lane 3, Lower Marion in lane 4, Episcopal Academy Pennsylvania in lane 5, and Jacksonville Episcopal in lane 6. Montclair out of lane 3 with a early lead, tight call but for 2nd place between Episcopal Academy, Lower Marion and Marion Mercy. Lower Marion in the black boat with the maroon blades. Seems to be making a move to hold on to 2nd place there. So Montclair currently in the lead, following by Lower Marion. Marion Mercy at the top of your screen, yellow blades, blue boat, holding on to the 3rd position, but being pressed strongly by Baldwinsville out of lane 1. These crews are in the second 500 meters. And it's the girls' varsity 4, semifinal number 1. Montclair maintaining their lead. Lower Marion staying right with them, pulling ahead of Marion Mercy. So we've got Montclair in the lead, followed by Lower Marion, and Marion Mercy now out of lane 2, holding on to that third place spot. And that white boat with blue blades, Montclair maintaining their lead as the crews are entering their final 500 meters of the race. Marion Mercy holding on to second place. Going to have a race for third between Baldwinsville at the top of your screen and Marion Mercy in lane 2. And a nice close-up look of your leader, Montclair. And this women's varsity 4 Cox event, that is Montclair, holding on to their lead as they come in to the final 250 meters of the race. Montclair, comfortable lead as as the boat comes into the finish, followed by Lower Marion. Lower Marion in lane 4. And Marion Mercy holding on to the third place finish, followed closely behind by Episcopal Academy, Baldwinsville, and Jacksonville Episcopal. And heading back 300 meters of this race. Holy Spirit in the blue boat maintaining their lead. Blair in the white boat. And it looks like West Springfield with a nice move to overtake Narden. And on the outside, St. Joseph Academy, top of your screen in the white boat with an incredible sprint, staying in the mix, looking to overtake Blair. Excellent move by St. Joseph Academy. Holy Spirit maintaining their lead. Definitely got closed on by Blair. And duking out West Springfield and St. Joseph Academy for that final spot. Holy Spirit staying in the lead, followed by Blair in the white boat. Third place is a tight finish here. Too close to call between St. Joseph Academy and West Springfield. Official results found at the SRAA.net webpage. Follow the link to results. Or you can download the app, SRA Regatta Timing app, and they will be your most accurate and fastest results. Race has been declared official, and in a moment we'll head back up to the top for the Boys Varsity 4 Semifinal 1. Boys Varsity 4 Semifinal 1 up next. Academy and Walter Johnson. Final 100 meters here of the Boys Varsity 4 Semifinal number 1. Episcopal Academy maintaining their first place position, followed closely behind by Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And it's the third place finish. And it looks like Walter Johnson out of lane 4 was able to get into third and advance to the final. Our last two finishers was Walter Johnson and Forest Park. And just off the start, boys varsity 4, semifinal number 2. And it's making a correction there. It's semifinal number 2 that we're looking at. New Trier at the top of your screen, lane 1. Cathedral Catholic, lane 2. Culver in lane 3. Pinecrest in lane 4. Baylor in lane 5. And Bishop Eustace in lane 6. Our early leader is Pinecrest in the black boat, followed closely behind by Baylor in the red boat. Again, the top 3 moving to the grand final. And as they move through the first 500 meters, Pinecrest establishing their lead. You can see there the stroke seat sitting right on the bow ball of the Culver boat in lane 3. But down at the bottom of your screen, lane 5, Baylor looking to move and stay in this mix. Oh, and Culver with a nice move, taking that seat back, trying to pull even. Top of your screen is New Trier out of lane 1, staying in with the rest of these crews. And Culver trying to pull even with Pinecrest, staying right there with them. And the race for third between New Trier up the top of your screen in lane 1 and Baylor in lane 5, red boat. And it looks like Culver on the inside trying to take a seat from Pinecrest in lane 4. Culver holding their lead now over Pinecrest. And it appears that Baylor maybe moved solidly into that third place position, and they are in the final 500 meters of this race. And Culver lane 3 in the white boat with the red and white blades now solidly in first. Pressing them continues to be Pinecrest in the black boat on the right of your screen. And you're looking at your leaders in this race, Culver, as we come into the final 250 meters of the race. Going to our finish camera, you see Culver in the white boat in the lead, followed by Pinecrest in the black boat. On the outside top of your screen is New Trier. They are duking it out with Baylor to get into the grand final. And you have Culver in lane 3, just about 2 strokes from the line, followed by Pinecrest in the black boat. And it looks like Baylor was able to pull ahead, secure that final spot in the grand final. New Trier finishing now. I've got 2 other boats on the course coming to the final finish line. In your screen now is Cathedral Catholic, and in the black boat is Bishop Eustace. And that completes our semifinal number 2 for the boys varsity 4. And underway, we have the girls varsity 8 semifinal number 1. In your lead is Mount St. Joseph in lane 3. Top of your screen is Bethesda Chevy Chase really trying to press and stay with them, and Walt Whitman in lane 4. Top 3 boats advancing to the grand final. The next 3 will go to the petite final. Girls Prep in lane 5 is trying to hang with there to stay with Bethesda Chevy Chase. And in the bottom of your screen, you have Pinecrest. Mount St. Joseph and Walt Whitman maintaining the first and second position. Top of the screen is Bethesda Chevy Chase and Girls Prep. Those 4 are the strong contenders right now. Again, top 3 get to move to the grand final, with the next 3 to the petite final. And the crews are coming through the second 500 meters, entering into the final 500 meters of the race. Mount St. Joseph establishing themselves as the leader in this race. Whitman trying to hold on to that second place position. However, Girls Prep and Bethesda Chevy Chase are really pushing them. Mount St. Joseph coming in first in their qualifier at the Philadelphia Cities. Mount St. Joseph with a nice lead over the rest of the field. Walt Whitman in lane 4 holding on to their second place, but Girls Prep and Bethesda Chevy Chase are really pushing. Final 300 meters of the race. Whitman and Bethesda Chevy Chase came first and second in the Washington Metro qualifier. And there's Mount St. Joseph maintaining their lead. Bethesda Chevy Chase at the top of your screen may have the slight advantage over Whitman right now, but Girls Prep making a move on the inside. Only 3 of these boats go to the grand final. Mount St. Joseph clearly has their spot solidified, but the next 3 are tighter. Walt Whitman with a good sprint to take the second. And it looks like Walt Whitman may be taking the second, followed by Girls Prep and BCC, but the final results will be posted on the website. Pinecrest just finished the race, and our National Cathedral being our final crew to round out semifinal 1 of the Girls Varsity 8. Nice congratulations there. There's your winner, Mount St. Joseph. And in that semifinal 1, Girls Prep taking the 3rd place and moving into the grand final. So Mount St. Joseph, Walt Whitman, and Girls Prep moving on to the final. And underway, we have the semifinal number 2, Girls Varsity 8. Ocean City is in lane 1. New Trier is in lane 2. Winter Park is in lane 3. Saratoga in lane 4, Moorestown in 5, and Washington Lee in lane 6. It's back from Winter Park. And not to be forgotten is Ocean City in that outside lane starting their sprint. New Trier next to Ocean City. tight mix of boats here. All 4 crews wanting a spot in that grand final. Winter Park hanging on to a slight lead as they close into these final 200 meters of the race. As they're closing in, Winter Park a couple of seats out. Saratoga making a strong move to pull ahead of New Trier. And here comes Moorestown out of lane 5. Looking like Winter Park squeaking in there, followed by Moorestown in that 3rd place position. It's going to be too hard to call. Washington and Lee crossing the finish line now will round out all the competitors for the semifinal number 2 of the girls varsity 8. Those top 3 crews moving on to the grand final, and the next 3 crews will move on to the petite. Into the final 300 meters of the race, your leader, New Trier, white uniforms and blue and green oar blades. The yellow boat at the bottom of your screen is St. Joe's Prep, but here comes Gonzaga. Gonzaga with a nice sprint coming into the line, looking to take over St. Joseph Prep and get a better lane assignment into the finals. Remaining crews making a good sprint, and keep an eye on DeMatha in the outside lane 1. And St. Joe's Prep, Gonzaga. Oh, St. Joe's Prep with a nice move there to pull ahead. New Trier crossing the line. St. Joe's Prep followed by Gonzaga. And a close finish for 4th between DeMatha and St. Albans. Our final crew crossing the line, Absagami. And here we go. Off the start, boys, varsity 8 semifinal number 2 from left to right. From right to left across your screen. We've got Walt Whitman in lane 1, Bethesda Chevy Chase in lane 2, Montclair in 3, Woodrow Wilson in 4, Winter Park in 5, and McLean in 6. A nice fast start for all these crews. And a nice tight field there across the course as we move through the first 500 meters. Lane 4 trying to take a lead. That is Woodrow Wilson. But staying right with them is Montclair in lane 3 and Bethesda Chevy Chase in lane 2. And 500 meters down in this first race, we've got 3 crews trying to establish themselves. Bethesda Chevy Chase in the black boat, Montclair in the white boat, and Woodrow Wilson. Those 3 boats all staying even. Montclair making a move to try and pull out ahead of Woodrow Wilson. Tight race for these 3 crews. Again, Bethesda Chevy Chase in the black boat, lane 2. Montclair in the white boat in lane 3, and Woodrow Wilson in lane 4 in the yellow boat. And closing in that second 500 meters, staying tightly together. Walt Whitman in lane 1 is not out of the mix too. They're staying tight. And we've got 500 meters to go. Those are your top 4 leaders. Going stroke for stroke here with Bethesda Chevy Chase, Montclair, and Woodrow Wilson. And heading into the finish, it appears that maybe Montclair has a slight advantage. Bethesda Chevy Chase seems to have pulled ahead of Woodrow Wilson. Hard to tell from this angle. Top 3 do go on to the grand final. Bethesda Chevy Chase with an excellent sprint there, pulling ahead. And Walt Whitman on the outside of lane 1 may have just gotten past Woodrow Wilson. All eyes on the finish line for this. Looks like Bethesda Chevy Chase will come out with the first place, but here is a move by Montclair right at the end. Nice sprint by Montclair, but they just might run out of room. Coming to the line. Montclair may just have taken it. Montclair, Bethesda Chevy Chase, and Woodrow Wilson will be moving on, but hard to tell in what order. Incredible race. Excellent finish. Nice sportsmanship between Montclair and BCC. Excellent race. And it appears that Montclair coming in first, just edging out Bethesda Chevy Chase at the end of that race, and Woodrow Wilson picking up the final spot to the grand finals. Remaining crews will go on to the petites. That concludes our morning racing session. We will be back online at 11:30 to pick up racing again. So 11:30, we will be back for more exciting racing of the 2019 Scholastic Rowing Association Regatta.